Hello everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. We're really glad you're here today. You already know the reason you're watching. You want to go deeper, you want to learn faster, and you want to improve your English in a real and meaningful way. Today, we're talking about something many English learners think about, especially at higher levels, using travel to improve your English. Travel can be an incredibly powerful way to take your English to the next level. If you already know the basics, grammar, common vocabulary, and simple conversations, but you want more fluency, confidence, and natural speaking skills, travel can help you a lot. We have a great article that explains this idea, and today we're going to break it down step by step. We'll look at why travel is so effective for learning English and what kinds of situations and opportunities you should pay attention to when you travel. These everyday moments can become powerful learning experiences if you use them the right way. One of the main ideas in the article is immersive learning. This is a term we hear often, but what does it really mean? And how is immersive learning during travel different from learning English in a classroom? In a classroom, learning is usually controlled. You sit at a desk, you follow a textbook, and you practice set exercises. This can be helpful, especially at the beginning. But when you travel, everything changes. You are surrounded by the language all the time. English is everywhere on signs, in conversations, in shops, hotels, and restaurants. You are no longer practicing English. You are living in it. The article gives a great example: checking into a hotel. Imagine you've just arrived after a long flight. You're tired, maybe jet-lagged, and you walk up to the hotel desk. You need to speak English right away. You might say, "Hello, I have a reservation under John Smith." The receptionist answers, "Yes, Mr. Smith. A deluxe room for 3 nights. Is that correct?" At that moment, you must listen carefully, understand what is being said, and respond immediately. You need to know what to do next. Do you give your passport? Do you confirm the details? Do you ask another question? Maybe you ask, "What time is breakfast served?" And the receptionist replies, "Breakfast is from 7 to 10 a.m. in the dining area." This is a short conversation, but it requires many skills. You need listening skills, vocabulary knowledge, and confidence. You might hear a different accent or faster speech than you are used to. You may hear words you don't use every day, like deluxe room or dining area. This kind of learning is very powerful because it is real. You are learning because you need to. You want to get to your room. You want to eat breakfast. You are motivated to understand, and that motivation helps your brain remember what you learn. This is something a classroom cannot fully recreate. In travel situations, English is not theory. It is a tool you must use to achieve your goals. Travel is also an excellent way to build vocabulary. The article explains that travel exposes you to very specific and useful words that you may not learn from a book. For example, you can study food vocabulary at home, but it is very different from being in a restaurant and needing to order a meal. Imagine sitting at a restaurant. The waiter comes to your table and says, "Good evening." You reply, "I'd like to start with a Caesar salad. For my main course, I'll have the grilled salmon with mashed potatoes. And I'd like a bottle of sparkling water, please." In just a few sentences, you've used many food-related words and polite expressions. You've also practiced how to order food in a natural and respectful way. This is more than just knowing vocabulary, it's knowing how to use it correctly. Because these words are connected to a real experience, they stay in your memory longer. This is meaningful learning, not memorization. You remember the words because you used them in a real moment that mattered to you. So far, we've talked about immersive learning and vocabulary growth. But there is another challenge that many advanced English learners face, and travel can help with that too. Another big challenge for English learners is understanding different accents. This is a very important topic. Many learners feel comfortable with one type of English, such as American or British English. But when they travel to another country, it can suddenly feel like people are speaking a completely different language. This is exactly where travel becomes extremely helpful. When you travel, you're exposed to many different accents and ways of speaking English. For example, you might travel to Australia and hear Australian English, or go to South Africa and hear South African English. Even inside one country, people speak differently depending on the region, the city, or even their background. English is not just one sound or one accent. There are many variations, and travel helps you experience them naturally. The article gives a simple but powerful example. Imagine you are in London and you stop someone on the street. You ask, "Excuse me, do you know where the nearest tube station is?" Already, you are using a word that is specific to British English. In London, people say tube, not subway. Then the person might answer, "Cheers, mate." This is interesting because cheers does not mean drinking in this situation. It means thank you. And mate is a friendly and informal word often used in British English. These small expressions, slang words, and cultural phrases are things you usually do not learn from textbooks. The more you hear different accents and expressions, the better your listening skills become. Your ear slowly gets used to the sounds, rhythm, and pronunciation. It is like listening to different styles of music. At first, they may sound strange, but over time, you start to recognize patterns and understand them more easily. Now let's talk about something that is extremely important for advanced learners: confidence. Confidence is huge. You can know a lot of grammar and vocabulary, but if you are afraid to speak, it becomes very difficult to communicate. Without confidence, your English skills stay trapped in your head. Travel is one of the best ways to build confidence because it forces you to use English. You cannot hide behind a textbook or a screen. You need to speak English to survive, whether you are asking for directions, ordering food, or buying tickets. Every time you successfully communicate, even in a small way, your confidence grows. This creates a positive cycle. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. And the more confident you feel, the more willing you are to speak. The article gives a great example: visiting a tourist information center. Imagine you walk in and say, "Hello, I'm looking for some recommendations for things to see and do in the city. I'm here for a few days." The person behind the counter might reply, "We have a fantastic national museum. The old town is very charming, and there's also a lovely river cruise." Then they might ask, "Do you have any particular interests like history, nature, or adventure?" You answer, maybe saying you are interested in history. They then tell you, "The National Museum is open every day from 9 to 5 o'clock. In this short conversation, you have done many things in English. You started the conversation, listened carefully, shared your interests, and understood useful information. When you walk away, you feel successful. You realize that you can communicate in English in real-life situations. These experiences slowly change how you see yourself. You begin to think, "I can do this. My English doesn't have to be perfect. People understand me, and that's enough." Finally, there is another important part of learning English at an advanced level: understanding culture. Language is not just grammar and vocabulary. It reflects how people think, live, and interact. When you travel, you learn not only the language but also the culture behind it. The article gives a simple example: small talk in an elevator. You might be standing next to someone and they say, "Lovely weather today, isn't it?" You reply, "Yes, it is. I'm really enjoying exploring the city." Then they ask, "Oh, are you visiting from abroad?" This short exchange teaches you a lot. You learn how people start conversations, what topics are polite, and how friendliness is expressed in that culture. These small moments help you understand English in a deeper and more natural way. Travel turns everyday situations into real lessons. And over time, those lessons build fluency, confidence, and true understanding of the language. You might answer, yes, I'm from Spain. I'm here for a week. Then the other person may smile and say, that's great. I hope you have a fantastic time. At first, this seems like a very small and simple conversation, but it actually teaches you a lot. It shows you the social rules or etiquette of that culture. For example, in many English-speaking countries, it is normal and polite to make small talk with strangers in places like elevators. This kind of conversation is a way to be friendly and welcoming. It also teaches you what people usually talk about in casual situations, such as the weather, where someone is from, or how long they are visiting. These topics are very common and safe in everyday conversation. It also gives you a chance to practice your small talk skills. Small talk may seem unimportant, but it is actually very important for building relationships and making connections. Even short conversations like this help you feel more comfortable using English naturally. Now, we have talked a lot about speaking and listening, but what about reading and writing? These skills are also very important. Travel helps improve them too. Think about how much reading you do when you travel. You read street signs, maps, menus, schedules, brochures, and instructions. You are constantly surrounded by written English. You need to understand it to know where you are going, what to eat, and what to do next. Writing is also part of travel, even if you are not writing long essays. You might write emails, messages, postcards, or short notes. The article gives a great example, writing a note to housekeeping at a hotel. Maybe you need extra towels or want the minibar refilled. You might write something like, "Dear housekeeping, could you please provide extra towels in my room? I would also appreciate it if the minibar could be restocked. Thank you. Room 305. This is a real-life writing task with a clear purpose. You need to be polite, clear, and direct. These small writing moments help you practice useful English that you can use again and again. Finally, let's talk about the social side of travel. This is one of the most enjoyable ways to practice English. When you travel, you meet people from all over the world. You may stay in a hostel, join a tour, sit in a cafe, or relax in a common area. These places naturally create opportunities to talk. The article gives an example of a hostel common area. Imagine you are having breakfast and someone sits next to you. You say, "Hi, where are you from?" They reply, "I'm from Brazil." "How about you?" You say, "I'm from Germany." Then you continue talking. "Is this your first time in the city?" "Yes, it is. I'm really enjoying it." "Me too. Maybe we could explore the night market later." Just like that, you've made a new friend. You practiced your English in a relaxed, friendly way. There is no pressure. No one is judging you. You are simply communicating and having fun. This kind of low-pressure conversation is perfect for building fluency. You relax, and your English starts to flow more naturally. So, as we can see, travel is an amazing way to improve your English. It is a total immersion experience. You learn by doing, not by memorizing. And the best part is that you're enjoying yourself at the same time. The next time you plan a trip, think about it as a learning opportunity. Be intentional. Talk to people. Ask questions. Make mistakes. Embrace the challenge and enjoy the process. That's what learning a language is really about. And you know that feeling when you arrive in a new country? That rush of excitement, like stepping into a completely different world? Everything feels new and interesting. It's addictive. You're excited to see new places and try new things. But after a while, when you move past the tourist spots and start living everyday life, you notice something else. People do things differently, sometimes in ways you never even thought about. These moments can surprise you, confuse you, or even make you uncomfortable. This is culture shock. Sometimes you don't know what to do, and you might feel like you made a mistake. But these moments are also powerful learning opportunities. They teach you not just English, but how people think, communicate, and live. And that is where real language learning truly begins. Sometimes culture shock can be funny, sometimes confusing, and sometimes completely baffling. And that is exactly what we are going to explore today. In this deep dive, we're looking at some of the funniest, strangest, and most surprising cultural shocks people experience around the world. We have a lot of great examples, and this is the kind of topic people usually love because it's entertaining and relatable. We'll talk about how people eat their food, how they behave in public, how they think about time, and even some unusual superstitions. Every culture has its own unique beliefs and habits, and many of them can feel very strange when you first encounter them. So get ready. This journey through cultural differences might even help prepare you for your next trip abroad. Because what feels totally normal to you might seem strange or illogical to someone from a different culture. And at the same time, what feels strange to you might be completely normal to them. This really shows just how diverse human cultures are. A great place to start is food. Everyone eats, so food is often one of the first places where cultural differences appear. When you travel, food can create a lot of what moments. Think about something very basic, how people eat. In many Western cultures, people use knives and forks. That feels completely normal. But in places like India, the Middle East, and many African countries, eating with your hands is not only acceptable, it's often the preferred and traditional way. There was an example in an article about someone from South Asia who was shocked to see a person using a knife and fork to eat pizza. To them, it felt unnecessary. They believed eating with your hands helps you connect more directly with the food. This shows how what we grow up with becomes our definition of normal. Then there are surprising food combinations. You might think you know pizza, but if you go to Japan or South Korea, you may find pizza topped with corn, peas, or even mayonnaise. That might sound strange to some people, but it's completely normal there. Food preferences are deeply connected to culture. What tastes delicious to one person might sound horrible to someone else. For example, in China, some people eat watermelon with cheese. That might sound very strange to many people, just like peanut butter and jelly sounds strange to people outside the United States, even though it's a classic American combination. And then there are foods considered delicacies in some cultures that really surprise visitors. Fried tarantulas in Cambodia are one example. Fermented shark in Iceland is another. It's famous for its strong smell and taste. In France, snails or escargot are considered a fancy dish, even though many travelers feel uncomfortable at the idea. All of this shows how much culture shapes what we consider good food. Now let's move away from food and talk about how people interact with each other. This is where travelers often find themselves in awkward situations without realizing why. We're talking about social etiquette, the unspoken rules that guide how people behave. These rules are usually not written anywhere. You learn them by growing up in a culture. And when you break these rules without knowing, it can lead to uncomfortable moments. Japan is a great example. In many public places, especially on public transportation, silence is expected. In many Western countries, people talk, laugh, listen to music, or make phone calls on buses and trains. In Japan, this behavior is often considered rude. If a tourist doesn't know this and starts talking loudly, they might get surprised looks. It's not because people are unfriendly. It's because the culture values quietness and respect for shared spaces. Personal space is another big cultural difference. In some cultures, like in parts of Latin America or the Middle East, standing close while talking is normal and friendly. But in places like the UK or Germany, people prefer more distance. Standing too close might make someone uncomfortable, even if your intention is friendly. Then there is tipping, which causes confusion for many travelers. In the United States, tipping is expected and is an important part of service workers' income. You tip waiters, bartenders, taxi drivers, and delivery workers. But in countries like Japan, tipping can be seen as rude or even insulting. Good service is expected, and extra money can feel inappropriate. This difference often surprises travelers and can cause awkward moments. These examples show how easy it is to misunderstand a culture and how important it is to learn about local customs when traveling. Cultural differences can surprise us, confuse us, and sometimes make us laugh. But they also help us grow. They teach us to be more open-minded, respectful, and curious about the world. And that's what makes travel such a powerful experience. In some places, tipping can send the wrong message. It can feel like you are saying the business does not pay its workers properly. So something you believe is polite and generous can actually be misunderstood. This makes traveling stressful sometimes, especially when you are honestly trying to be respectful and do the right thing. Now let's move on to something more concrete: public behavior and laws. This is an area where travelers often encounter surprising rules they would never even think about at home. A famous example is the chewing gum ban in Singapore. For many people, this sounds unbelievable. But it is a serious law, and it exists to keep the city clean. The fines for breaking this rule can be very expensive. You could end up paying a lot of money for something you do automatically without thinking. Another interesting example is pedestrian behavior in Germany. People there are known for following traffic rules very strictly. Even when there are no cars around, you will often see people waiting at a red light. This reflects a strong cultural value placed on order, rules, and shared responsibility. In other countries, traffic rules may be treated more like suggestions. People cross the street when it feels safe, not necessarily when the light changes. Neither approach is right or wrong, it's just different. Public displays of affection are another area where cultures vary greatly. In countries like France or Italy, hugging or kissing in public is normal and socially acceptable, even between friends. In more conservative cultures, however, the same behavior might be frowned upon or even illegal. This is a strong reminder that what feels natural in one place may be viewed very differently somewhere else. Now let's talk about something that really catches travelers off guard: toilet culture. It may seem strange to think about, but toilets are a daily part of life, and cultural differences here can be surprising. One example is squat toilets, which are still common in many parts of Asia and the Middle East. For travelers used to Western-style toilets, this can take some getting used to. Interestingly, people who grew up using squat toilets often feel that sitting on a shared surface is less hygienic. Once again, it all depends on what you are used to. Then there are bidets and toilet showers. These are common in many European and Asian countries, but still rare in places like the United States or the United Kingdom. Travelers who encounter them for the first time are often surprised or confused. These differences show how cultures think differently about cleanliness and personal hygiene. Another surprise for many travelers is paying to use public restrooms. In countries like Germany or the Netherlands, it is normal to pay a small fee. While the amount is usually small, it can feel inconvenient, especially if you are in a hurry. This practice reflects how different societies manage and maintain public spaces. Let's switch topics again and talk about work culture and attitudes toward time. These differences can cause major culture shock, especially for business travelers. In Spain, for example, there is the traditional siesta. Shops and businesses may close in the middle of the day. For tourists, this can be frustrating at first. But the siesta is not only about avoiding the heat, it is also connected to family life and social balance. It reflects different priorities. Punctuality is another big difference. In countries like Germany or Switzerland, being even a few minutes late can be considered disrespectful. Time is viewed as structured and precise. In other cultures, such as Brazil or India, time is more flexible. Arriving 15 or even 30 minutes late to a social event may be completely normal. It's almost as if each culture has its own internal clock. Work-life balance also varies widely. In Japan, there is often strong pressure to work long hours and stay late. In contrast, Scandinavian countries prioritize balance. They have shorter work weeks, more vacation time, and a strong focus on personal life and leisure. These differences show how cultures define the role of work in life. Finally, let's talk about superstitions and beliefs. This is where cultural differences can feel especially mysterious to outsiders. Many cultures have lucky and unlucky numbers. In China, the number 4 is considered unlucky because it sounds similar to the word for death. Because of this, some buildings skip the 4th floor entirely. In Italy, the number 17 is considered unlucky because it can be rearranged to form a phrase associated with death. In many Western cultures, the number 13 is seen as unlucky, and some buildings do not include a 13th floor. These beliefs may not make logical sense to outsiders, but they are deeply rooted in history and culture. They show how traditions and shared meanings shape the way people see the world. And that's what makes cultural differences so fascinating. They remind us that there is no single, normal way to live. What's really interesting is how these seemingly random beliefs can actually influence how people think and behave. Superstitions may sound silly on the surface, but for many people, they genuinely affect daily decisions. There are also classic Western superstitions, like believing that breaking a mirror brings 7 years of bad luck or knocking on wood to bring good luck. People from cultures that don't share these beliefs often find them funny or confusing. But this just shows how strongly our cultural background shapes the things we do automatically, without even thinking about them. When you look at all of this together, it's clear that we've taken a long and fascinating journey through the world of cultural shock. Experiencing the unexpected is simply part of traveling. While it can feel confusing or uncomfortable at times, these moments are often the most valuable. They push you to question your own assumptions and help you see the world from completely new perspectives. In the end, it's all about appreciating the incredible diversity of human experience. So when you're exploring new places, it helps to keep an open mind, a sense of humor, and a curious attitude. As a final thought, try thinking about a habit or belief from your own culture. Imagine how strange or funny it might seem to someone from a totally different background. That shift in perspective can be very powerful. Now, let's move on to a new deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're here, you're probably looking to seriously improve your English. And sometimes the best way to do that is to dive right in to go somewhere where English is spoken every single day, in real life, by real people. That's what we're talking about today, full immersion. We're using a really interesting article that looks at the best countries for learning English. But it doesn't just list countries. It goes deeper. It explores culture, daily life, learning opportunities, and the overall language vibe of each place. In this deep dive, we're going to focus on the most important takeaways. Not just basic information, but the details that can help you make a smart decision about where to learn English. We'll look at how culture affects the language and how different environments shape the learning experience. Let's start with the most obvious choice, the United Kingdom, the birthplace of English. The UK is rich in history and culture. When people think about English, they often think of writers like Shakespeare and Jane Austen. Their influence is still visible in the language today. Being in the UK means being surrounded by the roots of English. London, in particular, is a great example. It's a huge, diverse city where you hear many accents every day. You'll hear native British accents from different regions, but also English spoken by people from all over the world. This kind of exposure is incredibly helpful, especially for learners. Hearing many accents early on helps train your ear. It builds confidence and makes you a more flexible listener. You become better at understanding English in real situations, not just in textbooks. London is also full of cultural resources. Museums, theaters, libraries, and historical sites are not just places to visit, they're learning environments. Watching a play, listening to a tour, or reading signs and exhibits all help improve your English naturally. Outside London, there are other great places too. Oxford and Cambridge are famous university towns with a strong academic atmosphere. Walking through these cities, surrounded by centuries of learning, can be incredibly motivating. Taking a language course in a place like that can really inspire you. Then there's Edinburgh, where you'll hear Scottish English. This adds another layer to your learning experience and shows that English is not just one accent or one way of speaking. Exposure to different varieties early on makes it much easier to understand English worldwide. The article also mentions well-known institutions like the British Council and language schools, such as Oxford International. But it emphasizes that everyday life is just as important. Talking with locals in pubs, attending cultural events, visiting places like Shakespeare's Globe or the British Library, these experiences are where real learning happens. So for someone who wants a traditional, historically rich environment to learn English, the UK is a very strong option. It's a place where you can truly feel how the language began and how it continues to evolve. Now let's switch gears and head over to the United States. The article explains that the United States has an enormous number of English speakers and an incredible variety of accents. You can hear everything from the fast-paced New York City accent to the long, relaxed Southern drawl. Because the country is so large and culturally diverse, the English spoken there changes a lot depending on where you are. This diversity can be a huge advantage for English learners. In many ways, different regions of the U.S. feel like they speak their own versions of English. For example, New York City is a global hub where people from all over the world live and work. You'll hear English spoken with countless styles, rhythms, and influences. It can be challenging at first, but it's also very rewarding. It trains you to become a flexible and confident listener. Just like London, New York City is full of cultural institutions. Museums, art galleries, Broadway shows, public talks, and events all create rich opportunities to practice English in real and meaningful contexts. Language there is deeply connected to culture, history, and daily life. Los Angeles offers a very different experience. The article describes it as the perfect place to experience modern American pop culture. The English spoken in Los Angeles is often casual and conversational, similar to what you hear in movies, TV shows, and social media. If you want to understand how English is used in entertainment and everyday American life, LA is a great place to learn. Boston provides another type of immersion. With universities like Harvard and MIT, the city has a strong academic atmosphere. Learning English there can expose you to more formal, intellectual, and academic language. This can be especially helpful for students planning to study or work in academic environments. San Francisco is described as a mix of American English and global influence. Because of its strong tech industry and international population, English there is often used in professional, global, and innovative settings. This shows how English functions as an international language in business and technology. Overall, the U.S. does not offer just one kind of standard English. Instead, it offers many different ways of speaking. Where you go in the country greatly shapes how you experience and learn the language. This is an important lesson for learners because English around the world is not uniform. When it comes to learning opportunities, the U.S. offers both formal and informal options. There are world-famous universities like Harvard and UCLA, but there are also countless everyday opportunities. You can attend public lectures, join community events, go to book readings, or simply talk with people in cafes, diners, and libraries. For learners who want exposure to many accents, speaking speeds, and cultural contexts, the US is an excellent choice. It helps you become comfortable with English in many real-world situations. Now let's head north to Canada. The article highlights that Canada is known for having a clear and neutral English accent. This is a big advantage for many learners, especially those who are still building confidence. Canadian English is often considered easy to understand, which can make learning less stressful. Canada is also a bilingual country, with both English and French officially recognized. This creates a unique linguistic environment. Being surrounded by more than one language can make learners more aware of how language works and more sensitive to pronunciation, structure, and meaning. Toronto is mentioned as one of the best cities for English learners. It is extremely multicultural, and English is widely spoken by people from many different backgrounds. Because of this, learners often feel comfortable practicing English there, even if their skills are not perfect. Vancouver is another great option, especially for people who love nature and outdoor activities. The city offers a high quality of life, beautiful scenery, and strong English immersion. Learning English while enjoying mountains, oceans, and parks can make the experience even more enjoyable. Montreal is also mentioned, even though it is primarily French-speaking. The city still has a strong English-speaking community and many opportunities to practice both languages. This creates a rich bilingual experience that can be very rewarding. Overall, Canada is described as a welcoming and supportive place to learn English. Its neutral accent, multicultural society, and friendly atmosphere can have a very positive impact on language learning. Finally, let's travel down under to Australia. The article talks about Australia's friendly people, relaxed lifestyle, and distinctive Australian accent. These elements make Australia an appealing destination for English learners. The Aussie accent may take some time to get used to, but once you do, it becomes a great listening challenge that strengthens your overall comprehension. Australia combines high-quality education, everyday English use, and a laid-back culture. This balance allows learners to practice English naturally while enjoying life outside the classroom. The Australian accent might take some time to get used to, but the relaxed and welcoming culture makes learning English there a very enjoyable experience. Many learners find that Australia feels fun and comfortable, which helps reduce stress and build confidence. Sydney is mentioned as a top destination because it is the largest city and has many language schools. This means there are plenty of structured learning options, such as courses, programs, and study centers. Sydney offers a great mix of city life, education, and everyday English practice. Melbourne is described as a city with a vibrant arts and culture scene. This creates many opportunities to hear English used in creative, social, and cultural settings. In Melbourne, you might practice English at art events, music venues, cafes, or cultural festivals. The language experience there feels dynamic and lively. Brisbane, which is smaller and more relaxed, is described as ideal for practicing conversational English. The friendly locals make it easier to start conversations, especially for learners who feel overwhelmed in big cities. Brisbane offers a more personal and comfortable environment. The Australian accent can feel intimidating at first, but it is part of the learning adventure. Australians are generally patient and supportive with people learning English. Instead of avoiding the accent, learners are encouraged to embrace it and see it as a way to strengthen their listening skills. Overall, Australia offers a balance between structured education and relaxed social immersion. You learn English in a cultural environment that values community, outdoor life, and friendly interaction. Next, let's talk about Ireland. Ireland offers a rich linguistic and cultural experience. The article describes it as a place where traditional and modern English come together. Irish people are known for being warm, friendly, and great conversationalists, which makes Ireland a wonderful place to practice speaking English. Dublin is a major attraction, especially because of its strong literary history. The city has many language schools and is full of cultural landmarks connected to famous writers. You can feel the influence of literature everywhere, which adds depth to the learning experience. Galway, a smaller town, is suggested for learners who want deeper immersion. It has a strong cultural identity and a close-knit community. Because it is smaller, it can be easier to connect with locals and feel truly involved in daily life. The article also mentions regional Irish accents. These accents may be challenging at first, but they are a valuable learning opportunity. Listening to different regional accents helps learners develop stronger comprehension skills and a better understanding of spoken English. Ireland is a great choice for learners who enjoy history, literature, and friendly conversations. It is a place where storytelling, tradition, and daily interaction are a natural part of life. Finally, let's move on to New Zealand. The article describes New Zealand as a paradise for nature lovers. It is ideal for learners who prefer a calm, peaceful environment. The country's stunning natural scenery creates a relaxing background for studying and practicing English. The Kiwi accent may take a little time to understand, but locals are known for being kind, patient, and welcoming. This makes New Zealand a great place to feel comfortable while learning. Auckland, the largest city, offers many learning opportunities, including language schools and cultural events. Wellington, on the other hand, is highlighted for its strong arts and culture scene. This makes it another excellent option for learners who enjoy creative environments. New Zealand combines natural beauty, friendly communities, and immersive English learning. It is perfect for learners who want a slower pace and a peaceful setting while improving their language skills. New Zealand is also a great choice for someone who is more creatively inclined. Many learning opportunities there are closely connected to the country's natural beauty and cultural heritage. Learners can go hiking, explore beautiful landscapes, and learn about Maori culture while practicing English at the same time. This approach combines language learning with a deeper appreciation of New Zealand's environment and traditions. Instead of learning only in classrooms, students experience English in real-life situations that feel meaningful and memorable. Because of this, New Zealand offers a unique mix of education, nature, and a relaxed lifestyle. It is an excellent option for people who want to escape busy cities and learn English in a calm and peaceful setting. The slower pace of life allows learners to focus, reflect, and enjoy the process of learning. Finally, the article discusses South Africa, which is a truly multilingual country with 11 official languages. Even with this diversity, English plays a central role, especially in business and education. This makes South Africa a very interesting and practical option for English learners. South Africa offers a unique linguistic environment. While you are learning English, you are also surrounded by many different cultures and languages. This exposure helps learners develop cultural awareness and a broader understanding of how language works in society. Cape Town is highlighted as a beautiful coastal city with many language schools and rich cultural experiences. Learners can enjoy the ocean, history, and local communities while practicing English. Johannesburg, on the other hand, is described as a busy business hub. It is a good choice for learners who want to use English in professional or career-focused settings. In South Africa, learners can experience the country's diversity through markets, historical tours, festivals, and community events. These everyday experiences provide natural and meaningful opportunities to practice English. Overall, The article makes it clear that every country mentioned offers something special for English learners. The best choice depends on personal goals, budget, and the type of environment that feels most comfortable and motivating. The main takeaway is that full immersion is the key to becoming fluent. Traveling to an English-speaking country gives learners real-world practice that is difficult to get in a traditional classroom. Using English every day helps build confidence and improve skills much faster. Listeners are encouraged to think about their own learning styles and interests. Which country sparks curiosity? Which cultural experiences would be most helpful for learning English? These questions can guide learners toward the best choice for them. Choosing the right environment can make learning English not only effective but also exciting and unforgettable. Exploring the world while improving language skills turns learning into a true adventure. After this discussion, the article shifts to a new topic and introduces a fast-paced journey through some of the world's most breathtaking travel destinations. The idea is to explore famous places in a short and inspiring way, almost like traveling the world in fast forward. The first destination mentioned is Santorini, Greece. What makes Santorini special is not only its beauty, but also its dramatic history. Thousands of years ago, a massive volcanic eruption shaped the island. This event created the cliffs, beaches, and landscape we see today. The island's famous white buildings are built using local volcanic rock, which helps keep homes cool in the hot Mediterranean climate. The blue dome churches are not only beautiful, but also served as navigation markers for sailors in the past. The towns of Santorini show how people adapted to a challenging environment over centuries. Even the black and red sand beaches are reminders of the island's volcanic origins. Santorini is a powerful mix of natural forces and human creativity, which makes it more than just a romantic destination. From there, the article moves from Greece to the high mountains of South America and introduces Machu Picchu in Peru, describing it as more than just a lost city, but a place full of history, mystery, and human achievement. Machu Picchu is a powerful testament to the incredible engineering skills and organization of the Inca civilization. Its high mountain location was not chosen by accident. Many researchers believe it may have served as a royal estate for Inca rulers or as a sacred religious site. Its isolated and strategic position suggests it was built with great care and purpose. Although the explorer Hiram Bingham is often credited with discovering Machu Picchu in 1911, local people had known about the site long before that. This reminds us that discovery often depends on perspective. For the local communities, Machu Picchu was never truly lost. When you look closely at the stonework, the achievement becomes even more impressive. The massive stones fit together perfectly without mortar, and they were built at a very high altitude without modern tools. This raises many questions about how the Incas managed such precise construction. The Incas were experts at adapting to their environment. They built advanced agricultural terraces that allowed them to grow food on steep mountain slopes. They also created complex water management systems to control rainfall and provide fresh water. These innovations show a deep understanding of nature and engineering. All of this leads to an enduring mystery. What motivated the Incas to build such a remarkable site in such a challenging location? Was it mainly for spiritual reasons, strategic purposes, or a combination of both? This unanswered question is part of what makes Machu Picchu so fascinating. It feels like a puzzle carved directly into the mountainside. From the mountains of Peru, the article then shifts to a completely different kind of breathtaking landscape, the tropical paradise of the Maldives. The Maldives offer a unique form of beauty shaped by delicate coral ecosystems. These islands are not random land formations. They were created over thousands of years by the slow growth of coral reefs. This makes them both beautiful and fragile. Because the islands are very low-lying, they are especially vulnerable to rising sea levels caused by climate change. This reality makes their beauty feel even more precious and temporary, adding urgency to efforts to protect them. Beyond the white sandy beaches and famous overwater bungalows, the Maldives are known for their incredible marine life. The coral reefs are rich biodiversity hotspots filled with colorful fish, sea turtles, manta rays, and many other species. One of the most magical natural phenomena found there is bioluminescent plankton. These tiny organisms glow when the water is disturbed, creating a glowing, sparkling effect in the ocean at night. It looks almost unreal and reminds visitors that even quiet beach destinations are full of hidden wonders. Next, the article moves from tropical oceans to the rugged mountains of Banff National Park in Canada. Banff National Park showcases the raw power of glaciers. Its famous turquoise lakes, such as Lake Louise, get their striking color from fine rock particles called rock flour. These particles are created by glaciers grinding against rock, and they reflect light in a unique way. The bright blue color of the lakes is a visual reminder of the immense natural forces that shaped the landscape over thousands of years. The scenery often looks so perfect that it feels unreal. Banff is not just about looking at nature from a distance. Visitors can hike, canoe, ski, and explore the area in all seasons. The Icefields Parkway, mentioned in the article, is more than a scenic road. It is a journey through dramatic alpine landscapes with access to glaciers and sweeping mountain views. The park is also home to diverse wildlife, including bears, elk, and other animals. Their presence shows how healthy and rich this protected ecosystem is. Banff is a place where people can truly connect with nature on a grand scale. From the Canadian Rockies, the article then takes us to Australia's Great Barrier Reef, the largest living structure on Earth. The sheer size of the Great Barrier Reef is hard to imagine. It is even larger than the Great Wall of China. However, it is not just a collection of coral pieces. It is a massive, interconnected ecosystem built by billions of tiny coral polyps. This underwater structure supports an incredible variety of marine life. For those who experience it through diving or snorkeling, the most striking feature is the explosion of color and life. Coral in every shade imaginable surrounds you, while fish move constantly through the reef. Being inside the reef feels like entering an underwater city full of movement and energy. At the same time, it is a powerful reminder of how fragile natural ecosystems are. Climate change and rising ocean temperatures threaten the reef, making conservation efforts more important than ever. Finally, the article shifts to the vast and dramatic landscape of the Grand Canyon in the United States. The Grand Canyon is not just large, it is a deep geological record of Earth's history. The layers of rock reveal millions of years of change, with each color band representing a different time period. The canyon was carved over time by the Colorado River, whose steady force shaped the land into what we see today. Standing at the rim of the canyon can feel overwhelming, almost like looking at another planet. Different viewpoints offer different experiences. Mather Point provides a wide, classic panorama, while Desert View shows the canyon's width and the winding river below. For those who want a deeper experience, rafting down the Colorado River allows visitors to feel the canyon from within, offering a completely different perspective. Together, these destinations show how diverse and powerful our planet is. Each place tells a story of time, nature, and human interaction, reminding us why these locations continue to inspire awe and curiosity around the world. Rafting down the canyon offers an entirely different way to appreciate its depth and the powerful natural forces that created it. Instead of looking down from above, you are surrounded by towering rock walls on all sides. This allows you to truly immerse yourself in the canyon and feel how vast and ancient it really is. The The scale is almost impossible to fully understand until you are actually there, standing within this incredible geological wonder. From the rugged landscape of the Grand Canyon, the journey then returns to tropical beauty with the idyllic paradise of Bora Bora in French Polynesia. Bora Bora is famous for its stunning combination of dramatic volcanic peaks and calm, turquoise waters. At the center of the island is a dormant volcano, which creates a striking backdrop against the peaceful lagoon below. Surrounding the island is a vibrant coral reef that plays an important role in shaping the environment. This barrier reef protects the lagoon from strong ocean waves, creating shallow, clear waters that are perfect for swimming and snorkeling. It is also what makes those iconic overwater bungalows possible. These bungalows, built directly above the water, look like something straight out of a dream and are one of the most recognizable images of Bora Bora. The activities in Bora Bora allow visitors to connect closely with marine life. Snorkeling in the lagoon gives you the chance to see colorful fish, coral, and other sea creatures up close. Some tours even allow people to swim with sharks and stingrays, offering a thrilling yet respectful way to experience the underwater ecosystem. The sunsets in Bora Bora are especially legendary. As the sun goes down, the light reflects off the lagoon and casts warm colors onto the volcanic peaks. This creates a peaceful and unforgettable visual experience that many visitors describe as magical. Bora Bora is one of those rare places that often meets and even exceeds the expectations people have before they arrive. Next, the journey shifts from tropical paradise to a place where history is carved directly into the landscape, Petra in Jordan. Petra is remarkable not only for its beauty, but also for its historical importance. It was once a thriving Nabatean city and a major hub along ancient trade routes. The Nabateans carved massive structures directly into the sandstone cliffs, showing extraordinary skill, creativity, and engineering ability. One of the most famous features of Petra is the narrow gorge known as the Sick. This winding entrance was carefully designed to build suspense. As you walk through it, the towering rock walls slowly open up, and suddenly the treasury appears. This dramatic reveal makes the experience even more powerful and memorable. Petra is often called the Rose City because of the pinkish color of its stone, which changes shades throughout the day depending on the sunlight. Beyond the treasury, there is much more to explore. The monastery, which is even larger than the treasury, sits high above the city and requires climbing hundreds of steps. The reward is breathtaking views and a sense of awe. The royal tombs showcase the wealth and power of Nabatean rulers, while the remains of an advanced water management system reveal their deep understanding of hydraulics. In a desert environment, this system allowed the city to thrive. Petra was not just beautiful, it was a fully functional, well-planned, and strategically important city. From ancient stone cities, the journey moves to a completely different kind of wonder, a celestial spectacle known as the Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis, seen in Scandinavia. The Northern Lights are one of the most mesmerizing natural phenomena on Earth. They occur when charged particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field. This interaction creates glowing waves of light that dance across the night sky. These lights are most often green, but they can also appear in shades of purple, blue, and even red. Watching them move across the sky feels almost unreal, like something from another world. To see the Northern Lights, timing and location are very important. The best chances are in northern regions during the winter months, when nights are long and dark. Clear skies and low light pollution are essential, which is why remote areas work best. The hours around midnight usually offer the strongest viewing opportunities. There are also aurora forecasts that help predict when solar activity will be high, increasing the chances of seeing the lights. While it can take patience and a bit of luck, Those who witness the Northern Lights often describe it as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. From glowing skies to ancient wonders and tropical lagoons, each of these destinations offers a unique way to experience the beauty, power, and mystery of our planet. Now let's talk about artistry, starting with one of the most famous buildings in the world, the Taj Mahal in India. The Taj Mahal is more than just a beautiful structure. It is a powerful symbol of love, memory, and loss. It was built by Emperor Shah Jahan in honor of his wife, Mumtaz Mahal, after she passed away. Because of this, the building is often described as a monument to eternal love. What makes the Taj Mahal so special is its perfect symmetry and its use of white marble. Every part of the structure is carefully balanced, creating a sense of harmony and peace. The marble is inlaid with intricate patterns made from precious stones, showing the highest level of Mughal architectural skill and artistic craftsmanship. One of the most fascinating things about the Taj Mahal is how it changes throughout the day. The light affects the marble in different ways, giving the building a new personality at each moment. In the early morning, the Taj Mahal appears soft and slightly pink. At midday, it shines bright white under the sun. In the evening, it takes on warm golden tones as the sun sets. Yes, it is true that the marble seems to change color depending on the time of day. This happens because the marble is slightly translucent and reacts to the changing light. This effect adds another layer of beauty to an already stunning masterpiece. The detailed carvings and elegant calligraphy covering the building are a testament to the incredible artisans who worked on it. Every small detail was carefully created, making the Taj Mahal not just a building, but a true work of art. The wild beauty of Africa. Our final destination on this incredible journey is Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. The Serengeti represents the classic African safari experience. It is most famous for the Great Migration, which is the largest land animal migration on Earth. Every year, millions of wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles move across the vast plains in search of fresh grass and water. This massive movement of animals is one of nature's most awe-inspiring spectacles. It follows the natural rhythm of the seasons and shows how closely life is connected to the land. The Serengeti is also home to the Big Five lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, and rhinos. Seeing these animals living freely in their natural habitat is an unforgettable experience. The sheer amount of wildlife in one place is truly incredible. The best way to experience the Serengeti is through a guided safari. This can be done in a vehicle or, in some cases, on a guided walking safari. These experiences allow visitors to get close to the wildlife while staying safe. Guides also share valuable knowledge about the animals, the environment, and how the ecosystem works. Another striking feature of the Serengeti is its vastness. The land seems to stretch endlessly toward the horizon. This open landscape, filled with life, creates a powerful feeling of freedom and connection to nature. It is an immersive experience that shows the raw beauty of the African wilderness. A journey across the world. From the icy northern skies to the warm African plains, from ancient wonders to natural marvels, this journey has taken us across some of the most beautiful places on Earth. Each destination highlights a different side of our planet's incredible diversity. Whether it is the geological drama of the Grand Canyon, the cultural richness of Petra, the peaceful beauty of the Maldives, or the emotional power of the Taj Mahal, every place tells its own unique story. We hope this deep dive has given you a deeper appreciation for what makes these destinations so special. Perhaps it has even inspired you to explore them one day. As a final thought, consider which place left the strongest impression on you. What was it about that destination that captured your imagination or stirred your sense of wonder? Until our next deep dive, keep that spirit of exploration alive. Thanks for joining us.